Blessings crew, and welcome to this week's offering. And just before you start, take that usual moment just to kind of feel your way into your body, how you're feeling, what your body needs today, what you've been doing, what time of the day it is, all the things that go into kind of giving us a bit of a sense of what we need and kind of how to look after yourself in the session. We're going to start standing, but not for very long, and we can take it down to the floor. The first 20 minutes can be used on their own, and then the class continues, so you can do the full hour and then pick the 20 minutes up during the week as just that kind of standalone. So notice me moving around. One of the ways that we can kind of find our way into what our body's feeling is just to move some of the major joints, especially if you've kind of gone from sitting to your yoga mat and you haven't been doing much else. So let's kind of notice shoulders, knees, hips. And it gives us an idea of what our body feels like. And then just going to move into an awareness of our feet. And as we do that, kind of an awareness of the earth underneath us. So come into that awareness. What's the space that you're in? Where are you in the world? What's your relationship to the whenua, to the land that you're standing on, to the stories of the land? Just take that moment. You might want to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And just take a couple of breaths, just really bringing that awareness down into the earth. And then as we're breathing, we're feeling that connectedness with the energy around us, with the plants that give us that breath that we feed with our breath. And kind of feel like you've got some roots. They might be temporary roots, they might be generations long, they might be somewhere in between, they might be a mixture. Just kind of feeling, what does it feel like to stand in that connectedness? Just breathe, feel as much of your body as you're comfortable with. If your body tends to be a bit overwhelming, a bit loud, then just focus on the breath. So try and turn the volume down on everything else. It's coming gently inwards. Those of you that feel like you kind of scattered your energies, I'm recording this on the eve of full moon, so you can feel quite big with energy at full moon. And think about just gently gathering that energy back in. A time for you, a place for you, a space for you. And then just once we've taken another breath, we might blink our eyes open if they've been closed and find our fingers, give them a little bit of a movement. We're going to inhale, just come up slowly with the arms, and then exhale, just let those arms come down. Inhale, follow your thumbs if that feels alright for your neck. Exhale, bring it all back down. We're going to inhale again. Inhale, come up. Exhale, let those arms come down, and as you do, bend into the knees, the start of a chair pose, tailbone going back. Inhale, come up, straighten up. Exhale, come down, tailbone goes back, bending into those knees. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Find the rhythm of your breath for a couple more. This one, when we straighten up, we're just going to find our way up. Link the fingers gently. Tip over towards the right, or lift up and over through that right side. I've gone left. That's alright, whichever side, as long as we do both. Big deep breath. Feel the space between the ribs, so noticing the way that your breath moves that space. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, start taking it the other way. Breathing into it, so feeling into that space, opening up. Inhale. Coming back through center, bring the hands to the heart space. Take the weight over towards your right foot. Just bring this left foot up. Notice what your balance is like. So find that point that's not moving. Just focus on it gently. Feel like we're growing that right side of the body. This can be plenty, just keeping our balance. You can change sides. Especially if you know this is your challenge, is kind of finding that balance. Again, try and grow that left side so we're feeling strong. We're not locked at the knee or the hip. We're not locking our breathing, so feel your breath moving. Back over to that right side. And again, we might just practice taking that foot off the floor, or this time, we're just going to come rolling around the hips, taking that left foot out behind us. Pause when you're parallel with the floor. Try not to tip your hips over. A few breaths here, just pushing back through that back heel, crown of the head coming forward. Come up slowly. Change sides. So over to that left foot, right foot comes out. Again, we might just practice staying upright, or just got the rolling slowly around that hip. Back heel, pressing back. Make sure those hips, they want to tip over. Generally we want to tip towards that standing leg. So try not to push back through that back heel. Feel into your breath. Come up slow. The hands come down, take the feet out, either side of the mat. Again, we just constantly got this little bit of movement into these major joints, just checking in on them. We're going to inhale, bring the arms up. And we're going to exhale down through the center, so bring the hands to the heart, and we're going to pause when our back is parallel with the floor. You notice me, if you're looking, I've unlocked my knees, I give them a wriggle. Then I'm going to just slowly feel along my spine, and I'm just noticing those muscles. I've got the weight slightly to the outside edge of my feet, slightly forward. Breathing, feeling those hamstrings warming up. Then I'm going to come down by walking down my legs with my hands, just wherever you reach. Let the head drop, the face relax. To come out, we're going to bring forearms onto thighs, tailbone pressing back, lifting the head up higher than the heart, coming up slowly to standing. So slow, reaching the arms up, opening up that space in the arms, let those arms come out nice and wide. Reach them around behind you, link the fingers. Just work the shoulders down, tuck the chin in. Quite tight to the base of the throat so we can feel that stretch down the neck. Then we're tipping around, and our arms are going up and our head's coming down. Lots of breathing. If it feels too much in those shoulders, just let the arms come down. Make sure there's a little bit of softness in your knees. Bring the arms down, forearms onto thighs again. Head coming up higher than the heart, so a little half squat. Coming up. And Launching those arms up again once the blood pressure lets you. Opening up, slowly reaching the arms out this time. Fingers pointing up towards the roof. Push away as if you are pushing gently against a wall at either side. Just opening up that space in the arms and the wrists. You feel a stretch in your fingers, the palms of your hands. Just roll those shoulders down, take a few breaths there. What we're going to do is notice, so find kind of what's going on in those arms, if they're feeling tight or feeling sore. We're going to drop those shoulders down, checking in that we're not lifting them up. Another breath there. Bring those arms in front. Pushing just gently away. Take the chin slightly down, so we're again getting into the back of the neck. And then drop those hands, those fingers down, back of the hand pushing forward. Noticing that breath. And then just let the arms come back down. If you need to, just move those shoulders out a little bit, give everything a little shake. And then take our feet slightly outwards into a half squat. So our tailbone goes back, our forearms go onto our thighs. And we're noticing again, we're going to feel that space along the spine. And we're coming down into that full squat. If you can, use your hands for balance. Just come part way down if it doesn't feel good. And if you can, a little bit of movement, again, just checking in those hips and knees, little tiny movements, just waking up those kind of joints that maybe haven't moved in this direction since the last time you were on your yoga mat. And we're going to bring our hands down and we're going to land ourselves on the floor. Bring the soles of the feet together into Baddha Konasana. We're not forcing our knees towards the floor, so we're being really patient. We're going to take hold of our feet or our ankles if it's more comfy. We're going to extend up along the spine, so crown of the head coming upwards. And we're going to slowly roll around the hips. It might be a couple of millimeters, it might be head to the floor. Just enough to feel into that stretch, long spine, so don't kind of curl over. Feel that length along the spine. I'm going to lift it back up and we're going to leave our left foot where it is, take our right leg out in front. I need to wriggle back on my mat. So left foot tucked in, right leg out in front. And just going to notice again that lifting up. We have a tendency to do a couple of things that you might have seen teachers do, which is picking up butt cheeks or squishing a hip out to the side. Try not to do that. Try and just sit on those sit bones the way that you would sit, so that your muscles aren't on a strange angle, they're on that more natural plane. Because we want to be coming around the hips as much as we can, or if we're turning the upper body, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn kind of the upper body around, take the left hand around behind, right hand over to that right thigh somewhere, and just look over that shoulder. And into the twist we go, so we're taking the gaze around as far as we can. Feeling that breath moving, that breath acting like a massage for our insides. Bring it back to center. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, come forward. It's not like we're trying to reach our foot. It's like we're trying to bring the upper body around and forward. So let the hands come down. It's rolling slowly into that stretch. Notice where you're tight. Roll the shoulders down. Get that spine nice and long. And again, don't kind of go, it needs to look like this or it needs to feel like this. We want to feel a release. We don't have to get our head anywhere near our shin to be stretching out. We want to breathe, we want to feel that releasing happening. Coming up. Staying with the same leg, we're going to bring this left knee up this time and across the body. Now if you do that and you feel a bit compressed, especially belly and boobs, just keep the foot by the right leg instead of going across. And it's the same with holding on to it. We might find we can just get our hand there. We might find that we can get an elbow around. So right elbow to that left knee and around we go into twist number 2 on this side. Looking over the shoulder, finding your breath. Bring it back to center. We're staying with this left leg that's up and across, and we've got a couple of options. One is to go back to the position that we did for the last one. The other is, which is with your foot here, the other is to bring this leg into half lotus. Okay, so the outside edge of the foot is tucking in to the crease of your thigh and belly, okay, so into the hip. We're not pushing this knee down, okay? This knee needs to stay quite in line with the hip. So we never want to feel like we're putting pressure there. And this might be plenty. Sitting like this, you might be holding onto your foot going, oh, is plenty. Those of you that can, we've got a forward fold. You can decide what your body needs more. It might be working on this half lotus and stretch of the foot, or it might be putting that foot down and coming into that forward fold. So you might have to choose between the two if your body's a bit tight. We're just kind of working out, what does our body need? What is it going to feel good doing? We're walking back up and we're releasing that left leg out and we're bringing this right foot in. And then we're just noticing again that seat, that sitting, feeling into it. And we're going to start to turn your body towards that right knee. Your right hand's going around behind you. Your left hand goes to that left knee or left thigh and around into that twist we go. We're going to look over that shoulder as far as we can. Find your breath. Bring it back to center. Inhale, lift the arms up. And we're exhaling and we're coming forward around the hips and down along that front leg. Roll the shoulders down. Take a few deep breaths. Again, might be millimeters forward, might be head to shin. Most important thing, lengthen out along that spine so we're not collapsing. In that relationship between the back of the leg and the muscles that run alongside your spine. Walking it up and going, am I bringing that foot there or am I crossing it over for the twist? What's going to feel good? Left hand or left elbow to that right knee, around we're going to twist on the side. Looking over that right shoulder, turning that gaze as far as we can, get yourself set up and then find your breath. bring it back to center, and that little bit of kind of working out which is the most important kind of movement for you. So if you're coming into that half lotus, outside edge of the foot into that crease, foot back where it was, this could be plenty. Okay, just working with that flexibility in the foot, in the hip joint, not pushing on that knee, so that knee's just floating around wherever it is. It might be up around your ear, doesn't matter. If you're coming forward, inhaling up, exhaling, coming forward, around that hip space, let the head drop. Extend along the spine, nice deep breath. Unravel slowly, bring those legs out in front, give them a little shake. 20 minutes crew. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit just in an open cross-legged for a moment. Those of you that are just doing the 20 minutes, you might want to sit like this for a few breaths, or if you've got time, lie down into Shavasana. But we're just going to all kind of pause for a moment, sitting, feeling that beautiful kind of length along your spine. Find comfortable for your hands, soften your gaze. Take a couple of deep breaths, particularly paying attention to that exhale. Notice what you've done to your body so far. Gathering that energy in again, just like we started with, feeling that connection down into the earth underneath you. And that sense of the world around you through the breath, drawing in that life force. Many blessings, those that are just doing a 20-minute practice with us. Those continuing on, we're going to blink our eyes open and we're going to bring our feet around back into our Baddha Konasana. We might notice that when we sit like this, that we are now maybe feeling a little bit more open in the hip space after that last sequence. And that can be like a millimetre or two, or just that feels slightly more comfortable or slightly less uncomfortable. And we're going to lean into it if we can, so rolling around those hips. Nice deep breath. Find your breath with this one. It's kind of, again, a little wriggle along the spine maybe, just loosening up. Noticing breathing. Are you starting to come further forward? Have you had enough? Do you need to take a break? Do you need to kind of just relax a little bit? Let your body sink into the pose a bit more. I'm going to come up slowly from there, and we're going to take our legs both legs out in front. We'll try that again. A little shake. Noticing of our knees. Noticing of our hands again, team. So just come down into Dandasana with the hands. So some of you will be able to comfortably get your hands alongside your body. Some of you might be waving at the floor. If you're waving at the floor and you've got blocks, you can always pop blocks or just come up onto fingertips. We're going to roll the shoulders down, and we want to feel that length along the spine. So really noticing postural awareness, team. So coming up through that beautiful length in your body. Notice your breath. We're going to get to a point where sitting up straight is effortless. If you were there, well done. If it's like, no, then we're, work in progress. Just getting that conditioning of the muscles. Breathing into that space for a moment. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our fingers back behind us and just stretch into the top of the hands while we're here. So push down gently if you can. Again, just listening to your body. Keep that lift along the spine going. our hands come back to normal shape. We're going to walk our feet in, roll our shoulders down, and just take hold of the back of your thighs. Okay, so those of you who suddenly have a sense of dread that we're going to do boat pose, just going to notice that. Why is that? Is it because it's hard? Is it because it's the area that you know you need to work? If it's the area you know you need to work, just go slowly with it, go gently with it. This might be plenty, starting to lean back and feel that engagement in your body. If you immediately shot into boat pose, bring your feet back down and just kind of notice the engagement required to get your legs up off the floor. So as we lean back, we're trying to bring our belly in a little bit, so our tummy button in a little bit, without cutting off our breathing. So you need to find that midpoint for yourself with it. And the reason our hands are here is to just give us that little bit of support, especially for our backs. Okay, so drop the shoulders down, just feel into the breathing. And I want you to feel like you're trying to lift your legs up now, but they're stuck to the floor. Okay, so feel, and what you might feel is a tug in the lower abdominal region, so under the belly button, down towards your pelvis. And that's kind of an area that we sometimes struggle to get to engage. So this exercise really helps, and it's really supportive for lower back. Lots of people, when they start yoga, they often come because they've got lower back stuff going on, and we need to really strengthen up those core muscles that support our posture. Okay, so relax the feet, bring these feet into a white diamond, lean forward, notice what you've done. Again, we don't want to collapse, so we're going to roll the shoulders down and extend along the spine, and we want to feel that lower back. Feel your breath moving. Now that first part of that might be plenty, especially if you're starting to work into getting that lower abdominal to kick in. So when we set up, we're setting up the same way. So we're just taking our feet in, rolling shoulders down, holding onto the back of our legs, leaning back, lifting the chest slightly this time. So we're going to first off put our kind of focus into our feet as we're trying to lift them up. See if we can feel that lower abdominal pull in. And we're going to slightly kind of elongate the chest, so we're not leaning back so much as lifting back. You're going to feel the back and the front muscles start talking to each other. Any strain, we stop, but we're looking for that engagement. Those that can, you're going to take your hands and you're going to just reach down alongside. Don't lose the kind of feeling of trying to lift your feet up in that lower abdominal. Breathe, belly button in. So there's a lot going on, and especially those of you that know you can do a boat pose, suddenly you're doing this, sometimes are thinking, have I been doing boat pose, or have I just been able to lift my legs up? Just breathe, feel into that. We can bring our fingertips down if we want to. We can come out of the pose, so just lots of options. Okay, then release back into that diamond. When we come forward this time, we're going to drop towards that right side. Let that head go over, let the shoulders come down towards your waist. Inhale, lift up slowly. Exhale, take it the other way. Bring it back to center. So bring those knees back together and check in, make sure your lower back still feels alright. If it doesn't, then kind of sit, roll your shoulders down, take a few deep breaths and just feel into your body. You might want to put a a pose in, a stretch in, while we do the rest of boat pose. If you're feeling alright, or you can come into the first couple if you're feeling okay, but not like trying to take your legs up today. So roll the shoulders down and all of the bits we did. So plugging the feet in, lifting, feeling that belly kick in, and try not to lose any of that as you walk your feet in and take them off the floor. Okay, lose any of that, put your feet back on the floor and stay with that engagement. If your feet are easily coming off the floor and you want to, come into anywhere up to there with your feet. Breathing, we can take our hands up and away, but we're just noticing, so we're making sure all of those things are engaged. And breathing as well. Come down slowly into open cross-legged. So, and in open cross-legged, we're going to come round in some circles into the hips. So, open cross-legged, kind of, there's an openness to our legs. We're not trying to sit in our full cross-legged or half lotus poses. This circling, we're going right around the pelvis as much as you can. Then those muscles loosen back up. Long and strong. That's how we want the body. Change direction, take it round the other way, just slowly. Halfway Taylor, no down dog, we're going to have to fix that, aren't we? So, just notice like those circles. We're going to come back to centre and we're going to find our way onto all fours. So, come around. I'm going to spread the fingers, bring the knees under the hips. We're going to circle again, so we're coming around towards our heels and then up and around again, that loosening up into some of those major joints of the body. Let's change direction. Bring it back to centre and option front pose or down dog team. So if you're not feeling very down dog-ish, take rest back in, like pose the child version. Otherwise, into a plank, heels press back, weight over those wrists, really feel a strength in your body, crown of the head going one way, heels going the other, and then using those hips to lift up into down dog. Just nice and slow, roll out the shoulders, let the head drop, let the heels work gently towards the floor. Big deep breath. If your legs are still feeling quite tight, maybe bend one knee, then bend the other a few times, walking it out. And then just pausing, lifting out through the hips, really feeling that release and that rest at the same time. And come forward, bring the knees down. Meet on all fours if you've been in frog pose. Just come up slowly to kneeling. Whew, that felt good. Let the hands release. Nothing like a good down dog team. Really isn't. So tucking the toes under behind us. You're gonna inhale, bring the arms up and keep that left arm going either to the back of the left leg or to that left heel. Reach up. Big deep breath there. Inhale, bring that left arm up. That right arm go back on the exhale. Top arm comes, that right arm comes back up. Hands come down through the center and back to all fours. We're going to flatten the feet and then bring that left foot up into low lunge and sag the hips forward. Our hands can be either side or to the inside, so just notice what's going to feel good. Let that left hip sink a little bit. Lift up along the spine, long deep breath. So we don't be slumped into the shoulders. We're quite active. Bring the upper body up slowly, and as we do, we're going to bring our arms up and our right arm going back to the back of the right thigh, left arm lifts. Big deep breath there. Let it out. If you can, come forward into the hips. Just notice what's going to feel good, no pinching in that lower back. Right arm comes back and we come down. Wriggle out that left foot. Frog or down dog team. Just notice what your body's going to need. Long deep breaths. Come forward, meeting on all fours. Right foot comes forward. Sinking into that low lunge, quite active. And so along that spine, we're not going to collapse. Bringing that left hip forward and down. Find your breath. Upper body coming up, and as we do, the arms are coming up. Left arm goes back behind, right arm lifts. And again, if we can, we come forward through the hips, but just careful of that lower back. We might want to stay straight over that back knee. Left arm circles up, come down slow, wriggle out, frog or down dog. Slowly lifting, kind of feeling into that movement in the body. and forward. Knees coming down or finding your way to all fours from wherever you were. Left knee comes forward, the start of pigeon. Left heel under that right hip. Let that right leg go back. Spine stretch first, team. So we're just kind of wandering up and in and stretching along the back. So feel that dropping down of the shoulders. Nice deep breath. We can have our gaze down, or you can just lift that chin, get that stretch happening. And forward and down. Try not to drop onto that left butt cheek. Try and keep the hips quite even. We're lifting up. We're going to take that left leg back and up into tiger's tail. So slowly up towards the back of your head. Go along the spine, just bring the chin up slightly. Knee comes down, right knee comes forward, right heel under that left hip, slide that left knee back a little bit, and just again, if you've got some space in the spine and it's still feeling alright, we can use it as a spine stretch. So hips come down, chin comes up. If you've had enough in the back, just come into the forward fold version straight away. And then down we go, around the hips. Again, trying not to fall over onto that right hip. Pelvis relatively even as we come down, breathing into it. And we're lifting slowly up and into that tiger's tail. So bring the knees back in under you. Right foot lifts up like it's going to touch the back of your head. Extending along the spine. Just again finding that enough point. That leg comes down. We're going to come into a frog pose. So knees out to the edge of the mat. Big toes together. Bring the butt back towards those heels and reach the arms away. Really let yourself lengthen out and then stacking the forearms for a rest or leaving the arms stretched away. Chin tucks in, head comes down. We're going to walk back up. Tuck those toes under, come into the foot stretch. So sometimes called cowherd pose. Okay, so we might need our fingers down, we might be able to come up into a balance. Just really strengthening the feet, stretching out some of those muscles that we might forget about in our feet. Check shoulders, give everything a little gentle wriggle if you can. And come back down. And then come down onto our belly. Now we can do that by just kind of crawling our way down there. Or chaturanga crew. You might want to come forward into a half plank or a full plank. Crease of the elbow forward. Slide down the inside of the arm. See if we can hover just off the floor. Elbows tucked onto the sides. Big deep breath. And then down we go. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. So, it's forearms along the floor, elbows under shoulders, and just really gently kind of lifting up along the spine. Take a few deep breaths here, make sure we're not hunched up around our neck. Push gently into the top of the feet, so just disengaging our butt cheeks, okay, they have a tendency to want to squeeze. And kind of find your way into that slightly deeper stretch. We're going to come down, making a goddess shape with our arms, sliding our left knee up in line with our left hip and toes pointing away, turning our head right, bringing the cheek of our left cheek of our face down onto the floor. If it feels a little bit much, just kind of bring that left hand into support, otherwise just noticing, sinking into the breath. Bring that head back around, that knee back down, change sides slowly. Again, we can make a nest, we can also use our fists to support our head, especially crew if you're finding leaning on your chest not so fun. Bring it back to center. Sliding back down and into Sphinx pose again. So come into that Sphinx. Sometimes we notice that when we're in Sphinx the second time, the front of the pelvis feels like it's a little kind of, might sound strange, closer to the floor, like there's more space. So that one, while it works into our neck, also helps us kind of open into that. As does Sleeping Frog crew, those that know that transition from frog into lying on our belly, does the same thing. So we want to just feel that, feel like we've got some of that tension out. We're coming down, we're lifting back into the last down dog of today's class, whenever you're picking this up. So lift it back, or into frog pose, just pose the child team, those that don't feel like coming up into this. Those coming up into down dog, that real lift through the hips, so lifting them up towards the roof. Let the heels release. Roll those shoulders away from the spine. forward to all fours, round to seated, and open cross-legged. Okay, so just kind of sitting in that open cross-legged. We've already worked on this once in this session, so we're just going to kind of cement that movement in, particularly if you struggled with the first time we did it. And that is that half lotus kind of stretch. So those of you that just went, it must be Shavasana o'clock. We don't have to lift, whichever legs ended up in front, we don't have to lift it to get the stretch. We can just work gently into that foot. So we can turn the sole of the foot up towards the roof. We're just working with that. If you can, bring that foot up and slide it first off into that little line between your calf muscle and your thigh, okay? And just get used to that feeling there. We might give our foot a wee rub, and this might be plenty, okay? And remember, we're not doing anything to force this knee. If it's way up here, that's fine, okay? We're just letting your body make the shape that it can make from this. If you can, we're going to take that foot and bring it up into half lotus. Okay? And just kind of play with those three versions. Floor on that calf muscle right up into here. And we're going to breathe. We're going to lift up along that spine. We're going to soften the gaze. We're just going to take some deep breaths. We might close your eyes. And just slow the breath down. Just come into that kind of slightly more restful, moving towards Shavasana space. If the mind takes this opportunity to get really busy, think of the breath as very gently sweeping the thoughts, just sweeping through them until the breath becomes the main focus and the thoughts are just this thing that you're sweeping away. They're still there, you can come back to them later. But right now it's just the breath, that flow, that wave, that sweep of the inhale and the exhale. Let's release on that side, change the feet round, and we're all going to start with that little bit of just moving of this sole of this foot up towards the roof. So that's really where the art is to it, is sometimes we think it's all in the hips, some of the time it's that ankle that won't let us do these. So bring that foot up if you can, pause at that calf muscle, give the foot a little rub. This might be where it stays, so looking after what your body needs. And if you can, lifting it up into that half lotus. So find which one, 1, 2 or 3 we are comfortable with. Then we're going to sit, we're going to find the breath again. Find that gentle sweeping feeling. You might think of it as a wave instead, just that wave. In, no pause, going out. The thoughts are a soundtrack, but they're in the background. Those of you finding yourself entering that meditative state, you might want to pause here and stay there. Those of you that want to lie down into Shavasana, now's a good time to do that. And get yourself comfortable. And so lying yourself on your back, just kind of noticing what does your back need, do your feet need to be tucked in? and your knees together? Or can you stretch your legs down along the floor? Do you want your hands alongside you with the palm facing up, or do they feel like they kind of need a bit of nourishment, hands to belly? And kind of find what shape you want to make that's going to give you rest. And as you do that, let the word rest roll around in your mind. What does resting feel like? One of the real arts with yoga is understanding how important Shavasana is. Without rest, meditation becomes very, very hard because we can't come to rest. We can't soften enough to find that meditative state. And so Shavasana prepares us, it lets us soften, it lets us let the yoga in, it lets us rest. It lets us be conscious in our resting, and so come to the breath. And on the exhale, let your body just feel heavy and soft and restful. And think of the inhale as gathering that energy inwards. And as you exhale, you're resting in that energy. You're letting yourself come to rest. And each breath brings you closer to that restfulness. It lets your muscles relax that want to tighten back up. It lets you soften. It lets you surrender into your yoga mat, into the floor, into the earth if you want to take it down that level to Mother Nature, our connectedness to all that is. And it's from here that you can enter a deeper, longer period of silence, so just push whatever button it takes to do that. Turning the volume down. If you can't spend more time, we're going to count 13 breaths together. Each breath this beautiful blessing you're giving your body. If you lose count, don't worry. I'll try and stay aware of the number of breaths. Let yourself just breathe. Each breath a gift to your body. And bring your awareness back, just slowly. If you're lying down, just wriggle your fingers and your toes. If your feet aren't already there, walk your feet up the mat into close to your hips and just feel the soles of your feet in connection with your yoga mat. You're going to reach your arms up, and if you can, over your head, stretching them out, waking up. And then turning over onto the left side, take a breath there. slowly up and around to seated. Just sitting in the space that you've created in your body and around you, just kind of opening your eyes, taking in the colours, what kind of draws your eye. You kind of soften into that at the same time as kind of opening the eyes quite wide, feeling a wakefulness. If you're going from this point into meditation, then take your time with that. If this is where you need to get back into your day, then we're going to reach our arms up. Big inhale, come up. Bring the palms together, down through centre to the heart. Bring that energy into your heart space. But gathering that beautiful energy and kind of holding it gently. Not rushing off into the next thing if we can avoid it. Just kind of being in that space. And from here, my little dining room, many blessings everyone. Thank you for joining me, especially all the way to this part of class. Take care out there, and remember that 20-minute start point, really good one to use during the week.